Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Addison, whatever time you're listening, and thank you for joining us for our ASD Chat for All podcast. We have lots of fun and exciting things on the horizon for Addison School District 4, and this podcast allows us the opportunity to connect with our parents and guardians, families, and community to celebrate our students, their accomplishments, and so much more. Your hosts for this podcast are ASD4 Superintendent Dr. Nick Sutton and myself, Dean Constantopoulos. You interested in hearing more about what's going on in District 4? Come on in and have a chat. Good morning, and thank you all for tuning in for another episode of our ASD Chat for All podcast. My name is Dean Constantopoulos. I'll be one of your hosts today, and I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Nick Sutton. Nick, how are we doing today?
I'm good. We've got a new mic set up.
Yeah.
It looks fancy. Since our podcast continues to grow, and we certainly enjoy doing it. So everybody out there listening right now, hopefully they can tell a little bit of a difference.
That's right. And if you can tell the difference and you do like it, feel free to let us know. And if you are having some trouble hearing us, please let us know that as well. But in the meantime, we actually have a great guest here today. We have Denise Ghidorzi with us, one of our fantastic art teachers here at ASD4. Denise, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. And I guess I am the guinea pig with the new equipment, so we'll blame that if I bomb this.
Oh, I love it.
I love it. Great. It's going to be awesome. Well, thank you again so much for joining.
Thank you.
So let's go ahead and hop right in. So we know who you are, right? But for anybody listening who might not know, tell us a little bit about who you are, what do you teach here, and how long have you been in the district?
Once again, my name is Denise Ghidorzi. I am the art teacher at Stone and Wesley School. I've been in the Addison District 4 for 26 years. My whole teaching career has been here. I started off at Fullerton, and actually I started off as a computer/art teacher.
Really?
Yes, which I think they saw after 1 year my strength and gave me the opportunity to teach art full-time at Lincoln and Wesley.
Very cool.
And then I've been at Wesley for 25 years. And I was at Ardmore for a bit.
So you've kind of seen a lot
Lincoln,
of things.
yes. So I've been quite a few places. I don't want that to be any reflection of my teaching and my abilities, or if I'm hard to get along with. But
Oh no,
I love it. So you've had lots of unique experiences, and the one that I need to briefly learn more about was, what was it like having Dean as a student? Was he as peppy and energetic about a new unit, a new assignment? We need to briefly hear more.
Oh, okay. Well, I believe Dean was a fifth grade student my very first year at Wesley. So that would have been my second year of teaching.
Small world. This is
so
amazing.
This one story sticks out in my head is
Please.
why I remember Dean, and I
tell.
remember I work with his mother at Wesley, so I remember telling her this story. I had never heard a fifth grader discussing politics during class, and I believe Bob Dole was the subject. I was blown away as he was kind of holding court at his table in art, discussing with these kids Bob Dole, and they all had kind of a look like on their face of not quite understanding.
So they were
what
more
he was.
interested in Cheetos and Spider-Man,
Exactly.
and you had this young man wanting to talk about politics.
Exactly.
Bob Dole.
I was worried he was going to get into religion next.
Oh,
but
my
he
gosh.
got-
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I could tell you a single thing about Bob Dole now, but
but that sticks out in my mind.
Oh,
I
that's so
love
funny.
it. So it's
Yeah.
like, you have all these special memories about different buildings, different staff members, different kids. So what makes you so passionate about art? And what makes you really want to share that passion with kids?
I think when I had to decide what I wanted to do in college, they always, I didn't really know, and they always say, well, what do you like?
Yeah.
And so I remember at a very young age that art was something that I could entertain myself with all the time. It was very hard for my parents to ground me, because if I went to my room, I could always find something to entertain myself, and a lot of that was art. I would draw and things like that. And so when I went to college, that was the first thing that came into my head is like, I really enjoy art. Didn't know what I was necessarily going to do with that. So I ended up getting a degree in illustration.
Interesting.
Oh, nice.
And so I did that out of college. Disney wasn't knocking on the door looking to hire me as an
The
illustrator.
universe had a plan, though.
That's true. So I was looking for other things that I jobs in illustration, and it didn't turn out exactly like I thought it would. And so I thought, what can I do with my illustration degree and still do something in art and not have to go back for so much more school in order to do it? And so teaching was something I
cool.
almost, kind of fell into. And I ended up getting my master's in elementary education. So I actually student taught in 5th grade.
Oh, wow.
And when I was looking for jobs, I was looking for a teaching job anywhere because at the time there was no such thing as a teacher shortage. There was tons of us. And so I wanted to make myself more marketable. So I got my degree in elementary education, so I didn't limit myself.
Right.
And so it did turn out the gods were shining upon me because
Very
I
cool.
did end up getting an art job in the district. And I think that's the reason I ended up getting the position I did, having the elementary background and the art background. I could be that hybrid teacher.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's how I started. But I think I'm very passionate about the arts. And I like that I think I have an easy job because I think kids like art. It's a subject that kids enjoy. And I think nothing warms my heart more when a kid will say to me, I want to be an art teacher when I grow up. Now, I want to say to him, you better have a backup plan. But I love the fact that they look at that as something they truly like to do. And elementary kids, when they know their schedule and they're like, I'll see you today at 2 o'clock for art class. And I think there's a lot of kids that the fine arts are what gets them to school.
Yeah.
They don't excel in other subjects or they find them difficult, but when they, and they're special, even band and orchestra and all the fine arts that really motivate kids, especially as they get older, to actually even come to school.
Absolutely.
So,
Very
and I
cool.
want to promote that to, at a young age. And I tell that to all my students, you don't have to be the best artist, but you have to give me effort, and I want you to enjoy this class.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that's
that's
kind of how I share
Great
my
answer.
passion.
I love that. Well, and a lot of my background is in music and arts as well, so that's something I'm very passionate about as well. So we can go back and forth about this for sure. But and I know that there are a lot of studies actually that say that keeping the arts in education is a good way to help students develop in the correct way. It gives you a lot of specific skills that are helpful in the classroom, inside and outside of the classroom. So kind of piggybacking off of what you were saying and off of that idea, I wanted to ask you, what do you think is so beneficial about art and the arts in general for our kids, like developmentally, educationally, from that young age? How do you think it benefits them?
Well, I think it definitely, their critical thinking skills, and they get to express themselves in so many different ways. And I think our art program here in Addison District 4, we are supporting the classroom teachers. That's our goal. So we're trying to do so much of integrating what kids are learning in their classroom. We're trying to do projects that relate to their prior knowledge and things like that. So I think we're just one more reinforcement, and we kind of sneak it in there in a more enjoyable way that all the kids that can't, to be able to write and express themselves, it might not be the easiest thing to do. But in art, they can get across their same point through their artwork. And it's not, we want you to be creative, and we're not trying to keep you, in a mold. It's express yourself. There's no right or wrong way.
Right.
So it's more effort that I'm always encouraging in their creativity. And I think that for some kids, that's much easier than a lot of the other things that they're asked to do in school.
And it's the epitome of individualized growth.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly.
So if you're a family out there that's like, wow, my kid's in art, I'm excited. What should the families kind of be knowing that's maybe on the horizon this year? What kind of media, what kind of new things are you going to do? Is there anything that you really want families and parents to be on the lookout for that you're excited about?
Well, I'm always excited about our art show in January that we do with the Addison Council for the Arts at the high school.
Nice.
They are very supportive. I love the community support for this particular art show. Our kids work all year. Unfortunately, it's kind of a smaller space, so we have a limited amount of kids that we can include in the art show. But it's a fantastic turnout. It really highlights our program. And a goal of mine this year is to actually look in the community for other places that we could display our art and have, maybe smaller scale shows. Or we used to do it at banks in Addison.
Yeah.
They would contact us. I'd like to get in touch with the library and do some displays there. Our kids love to see their work outside of the school hallways.
Absolutely.
Oh, I bet,
And so that's a goal of mine, is really to get out into the community and find other places that we would be able to highlight our program.
Well,
Very cool.
For anybody listening that is interested in having our students' artwork placed up in your business or in your windows or something like that, how could they reach out to you to get more information and to get some of this artwork up in their place?
They could contact me. I have. I was going to say I'm on Twitter, social media, but
Nice.
if you put me on the spot, I couldn't tell you my Twitter handle right at this moment.
They can search you by your name.
Okay,
So no worries.
search me by my name. You can contact me. I have an email address. If you go to Stoner Wesley, we have a website that has a staff listing that they could contact me there, or call the school. They're not that big. They'll know where to find me.
Perfect.
Or when you're out in the public, out and about, Dean, you can
Absolutely.
they can talk to you.
You bet. And that's absolutely true. If anybody has more questions, they can always reach out to me. You can reach out to my Twitter handle at AddisonSD4. Nick, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, what is the best way to get in contact with you?
School district email is always another easy route. I'm on Twitter as well, so at Dr. Nick Sutton is an easy way to reach me. So don't hesitate to do so. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun getting to know more and more people in this community and wonderful staff members like Denise. My only healthy criticism would be, with the NFL starting, I don't know about this Packers lanyard that I'm seeing around your neck. I want that to be noted for everybody out there listening, but I'm going to blow your mind. Are you ready? And I'm well aware I'm in the Chicagoland. The correct lanyard is Minnesota Vikings, everyone. The correct lanyard is not Green Bay Packers, but Minnesota Vikings.
That is
I know, that's an Addison
stuff
bombshell.
right there.
That's an Addison bombshell.
I could drop a little NFL bombshell myself. Being a huge Packer fan, I do have to say, though, and I don't tell everybody this, but the cat's out of the bag. One of actually my favorite player of all time is a Chicago Bear.
Really?
And that would be Walter Payton.
Okay, that's a good way to wrap
Perfect.
up and
Yeah.
conclude this episode. Look at that.
That is perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you, Denise, so much for joining us today. It was a
Thank
pleasure to
you.
have you on. And for everybody listening, stay tuned for next time. Thank you for tuning in to our ASD Chat for All podcast. Check us out at www.asd4.org, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts for more. We'll be back soon with another episode, so stay tuned.